Welcome to another session on Java made simple, clear and short. In this session, we are going to discuss how to work with packages. The concept of package provides us three facilities. The first facility is it helps us or it provides the basis for organizing our classes into nicely hierarchical folder structure. When it comes to real world software development, we have to work with hundreds and thousands of classes. Keeping all those things in say on one folder is not going to work. So the concept of packages help us or facilitate us to organize our classes according to the different functionalities. For example, I can keep my payment related things classes in the payment package, customer related classes in the customer package, product related classes in the product package, and so on. So it helps us to make things manageable or organized. The second facility is the concept of package help us using the same name for classes as long as they are in different packages. For example, I can have a utility class called utility in order class which help order related functionalities. At the same time, I can have another utility class, just the name with the utility, maybe in the product class. So as long as they are in two different packages, the two classes can have the same name. So that is good. Otherwise, we have to come up with different names all the time. The third usage is the concept of package provide you the basis for access controlling. So access controlling determines which class can access which classes or which class can access which members of a particular class. So access control we are going to do in a separate session, but remember the basis or the concept behind the access control heavily depends on the concept of packages. There are some built-in packages or built-in Java packages that we can use, so we can use some members of those packages readily. So one of the most popular package or most widely used built-in package is Java Lang package. The Java Lang package contains most of the widely used classes like string, system, etc. And because it's heavily used, actually what we can do is we can use those members in the Java Lang package without importing them as well. So that facility is given because the members are heavily used. But when it comes to other built-in packages, you can't just use it without importing. Right? So some other packages or built-in packages are the Java IO package, Java util package, Java FX package, Swing, AWT, SQL. So those packages we can use whenever we need it. But only thing is when you are using it, you have to import and use it, or you have to use the full qualified name. For example, if you are using an array list, which is part of the collection framework, of course you can use array list, but only thing is you have to import it in your source file, then only you can use it. Otherwise the compiler will going to complain you saying that I don't know what this array list is all about. But the moment you import it, that means the compiler has access to, so the compiler knows what you are referring to. Okay, so we will be using these things when we are discussing file handling, collection frameworks, etc. Then when it comes to naming packages, because we are going to create our own packages other than the packages available in the Java language. So when we create packages, we always use, it's a convention, we usually use lowercase names for packages, all lowercase names. So when it comes to naming classes, methods, variables, usually we use camel case. But when it comes to naming packages, we use all lowercase. That is the convention that even the Java, the JDK has all used. They are also, when they are naming their packages, they use all lowercase. So we also want to extend that conventions to our code as well. The second best practice, so the convention is use of a hierarchical name. So rather than just having your isolated package names as order or payment, we like to keep it as a hierarchical folder structure so that we can arrange it in a much nice way. Right? And we will understand that when we are doing some practice. The third best practice is the use of reverse internet domain name for the package name structure. The reason for that is we want to make our packages uniquely named. Then only our packages and some other third-party libraries are not going to conflict with each other. So if you are using your domain name, because your domain name is something unique to you, no one else can have that domain name. Of course, if they want, they can use it in their classes, but usually they don't do that. then there is a lesser chance of name conflict. So that is a best practice that we use. Most of the time organizations prefer to have their domain name as a starting point, or the reverse domain name as a starting point for the packages. Okay. Right, so I'm going to do all my codes in code folder. So under code folder, again we are going to use some best practices. I'm going to create a folder called src. That is where all my source code is going to have be. Again, I'm going to create another folder. Let's call it bin. That is where I'm going to create all the classes, because that is a best practice. Separate your source code and the compiled binary or class code. Okay. Then I'm going to create my package structure. So package structure and folder structure is pretty much the same. So I'm using that best practice of use of reverse domain name for the packages. So because our domain is auroracs.lk, I'm going to use it as lk as my first package name. Under that, Aurora CS. Under that, now I'm going to have my functionalities. Let's assume that we are going to keep two functionalities, one for customer. Again, I'm using all simple, following the convention. Other package I'm going to name it as order. Customer and order, two packages. So in customer package, I'm going to create few classes. Let's create something called customer.java. Let's add few more classes. Let's say customer util.java. I'm going to add one more class to run those things. Let's call it customer test.java. Right, I have three classes now. So I'm quickly create the customer class. Public class customer. I'm just going to create one behavior for the customer, that is public void, let's say shopping. I'm going to have just system output in there just to see whether it's getting called. System.out.println. Let's say customer is shopping. Customer is shopping. Okay, so that's it for the customer class. Now I'm going to create similarly. I'm just reusing customer util. So it has to be customer util. There I'm going to say something like notify customer. Here I'm saying customer is notified. Now I'm going to the customer test class. Test. There I'm going to have the main method, public static void main, and the signature is string args. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a class of, now first thing is that we have to make sure that our classes are in the package. Now remember, we are not in the root folder src, we are now in a package called lk aurora cs customer. So therefore in all three classes the first line has to be the package statement. So that is how you define the package. We have to say package, another keyword, package, then lk dot aurora cs dot, in this case it is a customer package. Right? So package name and the folder name, folder hierarchy must be the same. So our customer utility is also in the same package, right? Same package. Our customer test is also in the same package. Right? All three are in the customer package. Right? So that is how you do that. Now I can compile Anyway, nothing much is there. To make it a little bit interesting, let's create a class also here. Let's create a customer object here. Customer, let's say C1 equal new customer, and let's create a customer util also. Util, and let's call it CU, right? Then I'm going to call my customer one. I'm going to call shopping behavior. Right? From my customer util object, I'm going to call the notify customer behavior. So let's hope that there are no spelling mistakes I have made, and I'm going to compile it now. Right? Compile it now. So package statements are there in all three classes. Right? Now let's see how to compile and run it. I'm going to take command prompt cmd. Since I am my source code root folder is now what? D code src, right? D code src, because my binaries are going to be in the bin folder. So therefore I want to go into the first, I want to move to D, then cd code src. That is the root for my source. And just resizing this so that you can see the folder created. Right, now this is how you compile it. Remember, our source code is for the customer package is here, but we always work in the root level, otherwise we lost the package. So what I am going to do is Java C. I have to specify with the package as well now. lk slash Aurora CS slash customer, that is my package. Now that is where my class is customer. My class is basically customer test. So rather than compiling one by one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do star.java. That means compile all the classes in that package together. Right? Of course, if I compile like that, what will happen? Of course, let's see whether there are any compile errors. Okay, there's error here. Customer test, of course, because it's a public class, my file name has capital T, and therefore it has to be capital T. So small mistake I made. Customer test. Right, now that error must go away. Now you can see all the classes are getting compiled. So it has got compiled. Now classes are created here. But again, the best practice is not to create classes here. The best practice is have your classes in the separate parallel hierarchy of bin, right? Bin. Therefore, I will use that also, because it's not just learning the language or whatever. You have to prepare to go into the industry and work with some professional, real professional. Okay. So that is what we are going to do. Is I'm going to use the minus d parameter. Minus d means destination. Minus d. Now remember, I'm in the SRC. My destination is going to be the code bin. So that means I'm going one level up. Then I'm going to the bin level. That is where I want to have my classes created. Right? So now I'm going to run it again. Now you can see that under bin, similar folder hierarchy is created. LK Aurora CS customer, and that is where the classes are created. Right? So that is good. Right? Even if you are using something like IntelliJ or Eclipse, it is also going to do the same thing. Right? Now knowingly doing things is better, because once you are familiar with the command line, you know exactly what are the things that your IDEs are doing. Okay, right now in SRC LK Aurora CS customer, no classes, just the source code is there, and for the code is generated in LK Aurora CS customer. Okay, right, so that is good. I'm going back to here. Right, so that is how you work with the package classes. Now of course I am going to create another package now. Order, I have created the package. I am going to create some classes there. What I am going to do is I am just going to copy customer and customer test, and I am going to paste it to the order, just to reduce the time. I'm going to call it order, and this one I'm going to call it order test. Right. So this one I'm going to call it, this is some package is different. LK Aurora CS order. My class is also order. Right. So let's say make order. Make order. I will say order is created. Right. So that is my order class. It's in the order package. Now let's do some modification to the order test also. Now the package is again order. My class name is order test. There what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to create customer, I'm going to create a order object. Order object, let's call it O1. It's going to be new order. So I don't have util class there. And I'm going to call the make order behavior, which is a public behavior. Make order. Right? So now I have two set of packages. The one level I have the parallelly I have the customer package as well as the order package. Now let's compile. Right. So again so what I can do is I can compile this set as well as the other set, that is lk slash Aurora CS slash order slash star.java. So that will compile parallelly the customer package as well as the order package. Now let's compile. Hopefully there are no errors. Of course there is an error. Okay, that is not C1, it has to be O1 because I just named it to order 1. Let's compile it again. Right, now you can see there are no errors. Now let's go back to our bin folder and see whether the parallelly, now you can see order classes are also created, right? So here the customer related classes and here the order related classes, right? Okay, now you know how to create package and how to, now you know what is mean by package. Now we can create classes in different packages. Only thing is your folder structure and package structure must be the same. The package statement must be the very first line in your class or the source file. Of course, you can have in one source file, you can have multiple different number of classes, but that is not the best practice. But if you do that, all those classes are going to belong to the package, because you can have only one package statement, and that package statement must be the first line in your source file. Okay, so those are few things that you have to remember. Right. Now let's see how to. Now that is how to create classes in packages. Now let's see how to use these classes in packages in other classes. For example, now remember in order test class I am referring to the order class. So there's a rule here. Now remember I told you that the classes in Java lam package can be used without importing. Now you can see I am using the string, right? Similarly, if you are a class and if you are referring to another class which is in your same package, you can refer to them without importing. So that is another rule, right? For example, in this case, so let's go to source folder. Right. So for example, if I take customer test, now you can see customer test class is referring to the customer class and customer util class, but both are in the same package as the customer test. Therefore, I can just use it. And in the next example also, order, my order test is referring to order. Of course, order is in the same package as order test. Therefore, I can use it. I can use it without any issue. But the real issue is, for example, if I want to use customer class in order test, because order test is in the order package, customer class in the customer package, that is where I am going to have trouble. So let's see whether we can do it. Customer, let's say C1 equal new customer. Right? Now we are going to be troubled because this is not allowed, because customer is not in the same package as your order test. You can't just create objects like that to refer to that customer class like this. So let's compile it again. So I'm going to compile everything, because then if there are any errors in any class, I'm going to get it. Now you can see it says cannot find symbol customer. Of course it can find the symbol order but not the customer. The reason is the customer class is in a different package. The classes in different packages are not readily available to your class. Okay, so what you have to do is we have to do something called import in that class, right? Import in that class. So that statement must be between package statement and your class declaration. So I'm going to say import, right? So the customer is in which package? lk dot aurora cs dot customer, and class is again customer, right? So now I have imported the customer class. Now of course I can use the customer class like here, right? So now let's see, okay, compile it. Now you can see there are no errors. That means I can use, of course you can use classes from different packages. Only thing is you have to import and use it. Now let's try to use the other custom util also. Custom util. I'm going to get a customer util object. Let's call it cu. Now again I'm going to get errors, because though I have imported the customer class, I have not imported the customer util class. Okay, so I'm going to get a compiler again. And now it says that you can't find custom util. So what we have to do? We have to import that also. Order is not the issue. You can import whatever the first util. Right? So it has the same name as your class name. I hope yes, custom util. Now you should be able to compile it without an issue. Right? So that is how you use it. So what is the rule? If you are referring to a class or any type which is in your package, you can just use it without importing. But if you are referring to something, class or interface, which is different package, of course you can use it as long as you have the visibility that we are going to discuss in a separate session. If you have the access visibility, then still you have to import and use it. Import and use it. You can't just use it as long as they are in a different package. Okay, so that is something you have to understand. I hope you got it. Then there is a few more things we have to understand. That is, if you want to import, or if you have to import so many classes or interfaces from the same package, there is a shortcut way. That is, rather than importing individually, now you can see I have imported the customer and customer util individually. So rather than doing that, there's another option, that is you can just import the entire package. Right? Entire package. So star means import everything in that package. Then you don't have to import the customer util separately, because when we say customer.star, the customer.util, and if anything else, all the classes in that package is, all the types in that package is going to be available to you. So that is another way. Rather than importing one by one, you can import the entire package. Now I'm going to get I'm not going to get in compilers again. Right, so you can see no compile errors, because we are just importing it properly, right? So to make this little bit interesting, so let's run also, right? Otherwise here we are running, right? We are running but we are not coding anything, right? So let's call something. So for customer, what I can do, c1 dot, what are the functionalities available? Shopping is available. So let's make our customer do shopping. For customer util also I can do the notify customer. Okay, now let's see how to run also. Right, now let's again compile. Now remember, compile classes will be in the bin folder. Right, now let's see how to run. Now everything is in the now nothing is in the src folder. All my compile classes are in the bin folder, and here you have set of classes. Here you have a set of classes. Now what I want to do is I want to run this order test class. Order test class. So usually I don't want to go from, I just want to stay in the SRC folder. This is how you run it. You know that how to run a particular class, you have to say Java and your class name if it is in the default folder or the current folder. But in this case, it is not in the current folder, it's in a different folder. Now I have to say give the class name together with the package name. So what is our package name? lk.aurora.ces dot, I am going to run the order package class, order dot order test. Now remember case sensitive, here packages are all simple, but class name I have made it order O capital according to conventions, order test. Of course this is going to run if you have compiled your classes to the current folder, SRC folder, but in my case I have compiled it to the bin folder, therefore I have to specify where is my classes are also. This will work if you have just compiled without the -d, but now I have compiled it with -d, therefore I have to say minus class path, that means I have to pass the JRE to find our classes from this particular place. Where is that place? Remember I am in the SRC folder. I have to come one level up and go to the bin. So you just have to give the root level of the class, right? You don't have to specify exact folder. If you pick by using the the package hierarchy, it will go to the correct folder, right? Now it's going to run again, right? As you can see, order is created because I just create order object, then a custom object is created and call the shopping, a custom util object is created and call the notify. So you can see all three things are there. Now you can see our functionality is nicely organized to different folders. Our source codes are in the SRC folder, right? And our binaries are in the bin folder, right? So what we have learned so far, we start discussing about what are the usages of concept of packages, then some built-in packages, right, like the tank package, util package, then how we can use the concept of packages, right. Of course we can create a nice folder hierarchy, and that folder hierarchy is going to be your class hierarchy. Then if you are referring to a class which is in your same package, you can just call it or use it. But if you are referring to something which is outside your package, you have to import and use it. Either you have to import individually and use it, or import the entire package and use it, right? So then there's another thing I want to just briefly explain. Other than import and use, there's another approach, right? Of course that is a very cumbersome approach, but what you can do is, for example, now I'm going back to the old approach. So I'll be using the other class for that, the customer test, because it's easier for me. No, not the customer test, or the test, right? I will be importing the customer class, because otherwise I have to do a lot of coding. Customer, right? Now what happens? So the customer is available but not the customer util. So if I just, this is because this is commented, if I now compile it, I am going to get compile error here, right? Compile error here because I have only imported the customer class. Now let's see that compile error. Right, now you can see it can't find out where is this customer util is. Why? I have not import. Of course, if I import it, I am not going to get that error, right? But what I am going to do is, there's another way you can do. Rather than importing, the second option is, if you don't want to import it, what you can do is, you have to specify this full qualified class name. Full qualified class name. You can't just refer to the class name. For example, now I can't say customer util because I have not imported. But now I can say something like this: lk.aurora.cs.customer.customer util. Right? Everywhere you have to do that. Now I have not imported this, right? But still I can do this now. Now you can see still it's going to work. It's going to compile and run. Right? You can see it's compiled. If you want, you can run it also. For the test, yes. Right, you can see. So that is the second option. Either you can import and use it, or if you don't import it, you have to give the full qualified name for the classes. That everywhere of course you can see that no one is going to use this much because you have to do a lot of typing, right? So the easier thing is just import and use it, import and use it, and just like this, right? So rather than doing like that, but that you have to aware that this facility is available. This facility is available, right? So only place where you must use this approach of full qualified name is if there is a situation where you are going to use the same two classes with the same name in a particular class, right? So for example, your payment has a class called util, your order has a class called util. In somewhere else you are going to use both the util classes in the same class. Then if you just import both, and if you just use util, again your Java runtime environment or the compiler can't figure it out which util you are going to use, because you are just saying util, you have import the custom, say payment util as well as order util. In that kind of situation there's ambiguity. In that case you can't just import and use it, you have to use the full qualified path name. If you want to refer to the payment util, you have to say for example lk.aurora payment.util, right? If you want to refer to the order util, you have to say lk.aurora.order.util. So that is the only place where you are going to use the full qualified path, not just because you have two classes with the same name. No, that is fine. If you are going to use those two classes in a one particular class, that is where you have to use the full qualified name. That is only place you have to use, otherwise always import and use it. Okay, again when you import and use it, again the best practice is always import individually rather than just importing using the star. Of course if you are going to import hundreds of classes from the package, you can do that for ease. Otherwise when you import specifically by just looking at the class name, another person can easily figure it out. Okay, this is referring to this particular package. If you have just star, because you are not going to just import one particular package only, you might import 2-3 packages like that. Then by looking at the class you can't figure it out whether it's coming from X package or Y package or Z package. So therefore whenever possible, of course you have to do a little bit more typing, but the best practice is import individually unless you are importing lot of classes from a package, right? So of course in that case you might go for star approach. Okay, so another important point you have to remember is when you import a package using even a star, it imports only that package. None of the sub packages are going to be imported. So I'm just going to demonstrate that as the final thing, right? So I'm going to just have the star here. That means I don't have to do this. Now again the things are going to be perfectly working because customer util and customer both are in the imported, because I have imported the entire package. I'm going to save all, compile it again, no issue. Sorry, that is running. Let's compile, no issue. Right, now what I'm going to do is something, because that will complete the stuff. So I'm going to go to the customer again. I'm going to create another package, sub package under customer. Let's say util. Right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this customer util there, customer util there. Right now of course I have to change now customer util class. Why? It is not in the customer package, now it is in the customer.util, customer.util. So I have to compile that again. Now I have to do a lot of changes. Anyway, I have to do some changes to this customer test also. Why? It is in a sub package now. So when we are referring to customer util, right? So remember it can see its package members but not the sub package members. Therefore I am going to get some errors here, right? Because now it is in sub package. Of course I am going to get some errors here, because I have imported the customer package but not the sub package. Therefore, I am going to get some errors here also. Let's see the errors, then fix it. Right, so many errors are there. So let's open it. So the first error is coming from the customer test. It says it can't find out where is this customer util is, obviously, right? Right. So the issue is now it is not in the same package. So don't think that sub packages are also belong to your package. No, sub package is a different package. Just the name happen to be a part of your hierarchy. So therefore, what we have to do is now in my customer test, right? In customer test, I want to import that. Right? Import. Otherwise, I can't. So you can see even your sub packages you can't see unless you import. Right? Unless you import. So import lk dot aurora cs dot customer. Of course, I can use star, but because just one packet, one class is there, its best practice is to use it properly. Now this error is going to be vanished because I have imported and I am now referring to, and there is no ambiguity also. Right? I am going to fix the other phase also because it's the same import statement. Going to fix it. In order test, of course, I have import all the classes or the types in the customer, but it is not going to import in sub packages. Therefore, I have to import it separately. Customer, right? Sorry, there's a small mistake. It's under customer util. Okay, so I have to fix it here also. Let's say no. So this is customer util. Customer util. Okay, so because it's a folder, sub package here also. I can paste it, but here Aurora CS customer util dot customer util. So you can see, okay, not that, something else. So I have made it a mess. Control C. Yeah, I have to fix order test, right? Order test. So this is customer util dot customer util. Just because you import customer package, it doesn't mean that you have imported the util sub package. You have to import it separately, either using the specific class or using star again. Right now, all the errors are going to be vanished again. Right? Hopefully. Right now, we can see no errors. Now I can again run it also. I'm running on the order test. Like that. If you want, I can run the customer test as well. Aurora CS customer dot customer test. Customer test be capital. Right. Now you can see we discussed. Actually, we covered everything. Nothing left. Nothing left. So we discussed what are the three usages of packages. Right. Then we discussed how to create classes in package rather than in the root folder, how to separate your source code and package also, the binary code also we discussed, that is the extra thing. Then we discussed that classes in the same package can access the other members of the same package, but not other packages, so not even your sub packages. In that case, you have to import and use it, or you have to use the full qualified path. When you are importing also, you can import the individual elements or you can import the entire package. But again, when you import the entire package, it doesn't mean you are importing the sub packages. You have to import the sub package separately. So I hope you get it, what is mean by package and how to use the concept of package to professionally, effectively manage your code in real world professional software development environment. Thank you.